frantic coughing fit. Would y'all forgive me? I feel like what I assume a cat would feel like when they have hairballs in their throat. You know how they do that? Like my dog will do that sometimes. They'll get. I got a little of that going on.
5-1 U.S. Virgin Islands. I know you lose the last one to Creighton, but controlled it for like 26 minutes. What do you think kind of the confidence level of this team and where this team is now going into an important week?
You know, this team's it's been difficult to read for me. I like our group. They practice hard. They're good guys. They seem to get along. We really hadn't had any drama other than, you know, a few bumps in the road by some young guys, but they're really hard to read, though, as it relates to that. And some of it could be because they're just new to me and new to the system, and I don't know how to read them just yet. But I think, you know, my goal in going to the Virgin Islands was to try to find out more about our team. And you play 3 games in 4 days in a contained environment. You play, you know, a good team in St. Joe. You probably play our best 40 minutes of the year. Then we came back against Creighton, and I thought really answered the challenge of being locked in. Creighton's just really good, and they made more plays than us, go 16 for 26, and they deserve to win the title over there. Came back and on a quick turn. Thought we were pretty good for the most part against Montana. Didn't close the game the way I would have liked, but sitting here at 5-1, I've got a pretty good understanding of who we are. I want us to be able to take that next step as it relates to communicating within and starting to put into place some of the things that we do every day. Carryover is very important for us.
Is communication something that happens in practice, or does it just need to come in games and playing together?
I think it needs to come with guys just becoming more comfortable in their roles. We're still defining roles because we've got a lot of new guys, and guys have to be more comfortable in their environment. You know, Dre's only been here 6 games, Cullen's only been here 6 games, and I use those two as the examples because they're the guys that are on the floor the majority of the time, and they're in leadership roles. So hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later.
Andy, these 2 games and then the trip to Virginia Tech, this stretch, how important is it to start building a postseason resume?
Well, it's the next step for us, starting tomorrow night against a very good middle team. You know, Kermit and I go way, way back. It's funny, John Brady's in town. He's got a Hugh Freeze connection, obviously back from Arkansas State, so he was in this weekend. I've known Brady since I was maybe the 8th grade in high school. He was an assistant for Bob Boyd at Mississippi State. Kermit was like, I think, a GA on that staff way back when. He and Kermit have I'm going to answer that, Emily? Should have said that. So he's going to stay around and watch the game. And we had an opportunity he was at our practice yesterday. We had an opportunity to catch up. And Kermit and I go way back, man. I got great respect for him. He's a friend of mine. But every time I get close to the game, I wonder, why in the world would I schedule them? Because they're good. They're going to be tough. They're not going to give us anything free. So it'll be a good challenge for our team. I think it's one that we need in order for us to continue to move the program forward. And then you turn around and you play a Memphis team that I've got nothing but the utmost respect for Tubby Smith, who's going to be a Hall of Famer one day, and the job that he always does. So we know that'll be a great challenge. Then you get into exams, which is never easy. This is the last full week of school. It's hard to believe that. And then we get into exams, which will test our guys in other aspects. And then you go on the road for an ACC opponent. So a big stretch for us, again, just to kind of find out who we are.
Is there anything that surprised you about this team so far?
You know, we turned it over a lot early. I think we've gotten that a little bit under control. We're still way too loose with the ball for my taste. Defensively, we have not found, okay, what are we going to be in? Who's going to be on the floor when we need stops? Even though we've gotten stops at the end of the UMass game, we closed it on an 11-0 run. But we're still finding ourselves there as well. We're still certainly a work in progress. And again, I've owned the fact that I may have been a little naive in thinking it would come together a lot more quickly, simply because we do have veteran guys, but they're not veterans together, and they're not veterans in an Ole Miss uniform, so that may take a little longer.
You mentioned before the year that you thought this team might protect the rim a little bit better. It seemed like that showed in flashes in the Virgin Islands. Just what did you see from that, and what do you think about that so far?
You know, Eustace is becoming more comfortable. Yeah, I think he had 4 big blocks the other night especially. He's very athletic and active. Marcamus Hyman has shown us that in spurts. I need them both doing that on the same night. Sebas is a guy that obviously not the most high-flying athletically, but he's so long and he is a veteran. We need him to be better at protecting the basket. I think he's really concerned about fouls because he got in foul trouble the first couple of games. We've got to get him better in that regard. And then, Nate Morris, who's still not back with our team, he will not be available this week, is the best shot blocker in our program, and he's yet to put a uniform on. So some of that is a bit of a work in progress. We've got to get more athleticism and more athletic plays defensively out of our wings. Terrence Davis, you see the athleticism he's displayed offensively. We haven't seen that as much defensively yet, and Rasheed Brooks has got to be a better defender with his length as far as protecting us inside. So that's something I think this team is capable of. I looked at nationally, I still think we're trending in the top 50 in the country in blocks per game, but I don't think we're close to where we can be.
I know that you don't have a time frame for Nate, but do you anticipate him rejoining the team at some point?
It's really up to him and the steps that we put in place for him to take off the court, on the court. I do think it's a privilege to put the uniform on, and you've got to earn that right.